Welcome to another episode of Open Contact TV. I'm Dave and this is Wendy.
Hi everybody!
Today we wanted to take a few moments to let everyone know about an event that's happening tonight relating to Open Contact and talk a little bit about some things that we're going to be creating videos on in the future. But the idea of close encounters and making contact with intent, and I wanted to say right away that tonight, which is May 1st, around 9 o'clock your local time, whatever time that is, groups involved with the CE5 initiative are going to be meeting with the intention of meditating and having peaceful connection with higher consciousness. And they might refer to it as trying to contact aliens, UFOs, ETs, but it's all really higher consciousness. And we thought that was very important that anyone interested in this type of thing to participate in your own way, however you want, to do the same. Because throughout the world, there will be people collectively doing this, and it will send a clear signal to ETs and higher consciousness beings that we are ready for open contact. And that's what we're all about here.
Yes, we
are. So I wanted to first just mention that we're planning to do a lot of different videos talking about forms of open contact, and I created a list which is subject to change at any time. But I just wanted to create a list and read them off to you, because I think it's also important for everyone to understand all the forms of open contact. And in reality, everyone is already involved in open contact. So I'm just going to read this list to you. Dreams in your sleep are a form of open contact. Daydreaming while you're awake is a form of open contact. Meditation, which also daydreams with intent when you get messages or get ideas while you're meditating. If you're meditating to find answers for your problems or whatever it might be, those ideas that you're getting is actually a form of open contact. It is a form of channeling, which is what open contact starts as. Now, of course, you have close encounters, sightings of UFOs. That's obviously a form of contact. Channeled messages from others. So, for instance, you go see a psychic, or you listen to a channeler, or you see someone. That is a very direct form of open contact.
Yes, it is.
Automatic writing, which includes writing symbols, even paintings and stuff like that. That's also could be a form of open contact. Automatic writing of actual words, where people sit and they just let words flow. That's a sign of open contact also. You're getting that fed to you through a channeling method, and that is open contact. And the idea that it's happening openly is the idea of open contact, as opposed to just individual contact. So a lot of people talk about that and do it. It's a open and accepted thing. Channeling, of course, in the mind. When you channel information, you might hear messages, you might get ideas, you might get visions, images. That's a form of open contact. And channeling, where you're actually speaking what the messages are for yourself or from others, or to others, or in an open dialogue. That's also a form of open contact. When you actually see things, UFOs, orbs, lights, actual ETs you might think you see from the corner of your eye, that's also a form of open contact. And lots of people, even though they might not think that they have seen an ET or seen a UFO, they might see something out of the corner of their eye and they just dismiss it. But that might actually be a form of open contact where they're trying to contact you and get you used to
Yes.
seeing them and being with them. And of course, actual physical contact, which a lot of people have claimed to have, is of course another form of open contact. And that's the list that I have so far. But we'll, I'm sure, be expanding upon that.
I was just going to say, I knew you were going to say that we would be expanding on. I mean, even as you're saying these, we can and will be expanding on really each one of these,
right.
and our own experiences and exploring your experiences with each one of these.
So I wanted to quickly just mention that because we plan to do videos, maybe a video for each one of these items.
That could be too, yeah.
Because we all have experiences, for instance, in dreams. Sometimes we might have dreams of being being with.
Sometimes that is our first contact with them is through dreams because it's a gentle way. It's a dream. We don't remember always. We let ourselves remember as we allow.
Which also reminds me that some other things that we're going to be talking about, and Wendy's very excited to talk about the open contact and first contact protocols.
Yes, I am.
Which describe in certain order of how open contact occurs and the things that are done from the extraterrestrial point of view, what steps they take to initiate open contact within any society, which is not limited to Earth and our plane of existence. It's
and to expand on that just a little, and what will come through is also it will be also our connection to what is our part that we've come to play here as far as our connections, feeling as though knowing that we are first contact specialists and this is what we came to do, and our connections and how these things sort of came to be for us as well personally in our own personal lives, and how my journey began and how it started with contact and with these other energies and entities. And so very interesting for us to kind of come full circle in the things that we've discovered even in the last couple days, weeks, years. So this is very exciting for me.
So I also want to, as usual, invite all our higher consciousness friends who are always watching all of us all the time and get a big kick out of all the fun that we have here in time as we count time.
Well, maybe we should talk about just a little bit about tonight with the idea of why we decided to do this today. Today's May 1st.
Yes.
So happy May 1st. Vibrationally, it's a very exciting day for me as well. So I'm hoping to probably do another video today to expand a little bit more perhaps on these protocols. But a little bit about maybe just why and what happens when we all get together and do this. Like you said, at 9:00 p.m., wherever you are.
So I want to just list very quickly a brief description of each of the close encounter types that have been sort of accepted as labels for the types of close encounters one might have. And really the first three are the only ones that are sort of universally accepted, but they've been expanded upon. And of course, everyone has their own opinions about the definitions of what they really mean and what might be really categorized as each type, but it's really not important because we're all having contact all the time, whether we know it or not. But the first type is a visual contact. Close encounters of the first type.
Which would mean like what
you see something in the sky, or something that is typically a UFO. Some people define it as it has to be close, where you could define the shape as a ship as opposed to lights moving in the sky. But generally, close encounters of the first type is some kind of visual sighting of a ship, typically. Okay. The second type would include some physical phenomena. And that would be the person doing the sighting feels something unusual. It might be they saw something over in the woods, and then when they went to look, they saw, circle shapes in the ground. It could be, they were driving and their car stopped. Any of those kind of things. The third type is when you actually see the presence of some animated being. And I would say the definition used to be you actually see a pilot or an ET, but that has been revised to include, a robotic pilot or something more than just an orb or a triangle. If you actually see that there's inhabitants of some sort, that's considered the third type.
Okay.
The fourth type is when you actually go with the extraterrestrial. Now, they used to call it abduction. If you have an abduction experience, that's the fourth type. But I don't want to label it as an abduction. Because most of the time also, it's not really an abduction. Because at some level, you've agreed to go with them anyway. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming to get you. But that also includes if you feel as though you've physically gone aboard a ship or been taken somewhere.
I guess would you call that a visitation one direction or the other?
Well, it would be that you actually
that
go
you visited
somewhere.
There, or
you're leaving your normal house or car or wherever you might be when it happens. But it's also psychically. So if, let's say, you're laying in bed and you feel like you have some kind of encounter happening, and you might realize that you're still in your room, but they're taking you psychically where you're having the experience in your head that they're taking you, let's say, to another planet for you to see things going on there. That's considered a close encounter, even though you're not physically in your conceptual reality actually getting on a ship and traveling or being teleported or whatever. That's still considered a close encounter. Close encounter of the fifth type is sort of what we're sort of talking about today, which is any contact experience initiated by humans.
Okay, which is what we're doing tonight.
Which is what's going on tonight, and that's where the CE5 groups come into play, where the idea is through meditation and some protocols that they've created, you have the intention to connect with the ETs, with the higher consciousness, and invite them to come to have open contact with you or to make contact with you in any of the ways that we've already described. And as we will always say, if any of this is interest to you, use your own initiative and your own guidance and your own intuition to look up this information and to follow your own guidance, because that's the fun of
yes, it is.
Opening your presence. That I don't sit here and tell you what to do, what this means. You get to decide for yourself the meaning behind all of these things, and in your own way find the things most relevant to you and for your experience. So you can easily look up CE5, but generally the idea is, and for tonight, that yourself, or if you have a group of people, it could even be, your whole family, sit out in the backyard and look up at the stars and say, hello.
Hi, everybody. We would love to meet you. We're open to connecting with all of you.
And that's the big point of the video right now, so there's time for everyone that watches this to be able to do that. But as we know, time doesn't really exist, and there's only
and we know it's already been 9 o'clock past anywhere.
You can do this
somewhere
anytime you want.
Yes.
Collectively, there are lots of people that want to do it together in some way, and we know that doing something in a group collectively does carry more energy. So that's why we felt it important to make a video right away and let everyone know. The sixth type out of 7 is actually channeling with the higher consciousness or the ET or the UFO or whatever it is that you're connecting to. And that's actually where you're getting communication back and forth. There's a telepathy or telepathy, as Bashar would say. And actually, you could speak a little bit more on this, but the idea behind it is when you match or approach the vibration of one of these entities who they're always looking to connect with us, there is a connection. And as you match that frequency,
Yes.
the channeled connection is established. And if you're open to allowing for that communication to occur, it occurs.
Yes, it
And
does.
there are all kinds of different methods and means for that actual communication to occur, as we just spoke about the different ways of
Yes.
that open contact happen. But typically, the idea of channeling is a person is verbally providing the message from whatever is connected, or hearing the message and verbally repeating it in some way. But channeling occurs in all kinds of different ways, and even through music, through sounds, through pictures and writing and all those other things. That's channeling.
Yes.
So you're always channeling anyway, because you're always connected to your higher self, channeling in the information, all the thoughts, all the ideas, everything that you have is a form of channeling. So we're actually all having close encounters of the sixth type all the time. And then number 7, close encounters of the seventh type, is involvement with the hybridization program. And many of you watching this probably feel in some way that you're involved in that, and may have had dreams about it, might have waken up thinking, I think I might have
I think I might be involved in
that in some way. So depending on where you look, some people will say that the seventh type is creating new hybrid beings and the direct involvement in that. But it's really your involvement in the hybridization program.
Yes.
And I'll repeat again, this list is a list that I've looked up some information on, and I've reduced the labels and descriptions to make the most sense to me, and in a way that I wanted to share with you to simplify things and to also be more inclusive of all the different possibilities that things can fall into. There are only 7, and it's interesting that 7 is about hybridization, because
Yes, it is.
people following the idea of hybrid children and the ET hybrid races might be aware that part of the point of open contact and the idea of hybridization, which we've all been part of as far, as being part of the human experience, has included hybridization.
I was just going to say, by virtue of being a human, we are already a part of the hybridization process experience anyway, no matter how we look at it.
So the goal, sort of, it's a long-term goal, but it's really a short-term goal, is the 7th hybrid race, which happens to be number 7 on the Close Encounters types. And that's sort of the point of all this. So why are we here? So we could be part of the 7th hybrid race, which are considered to be galactic beings.
A race of beings that has never existed in creation ever. And we have chosen, not get to, yes, and we have the privilege of. We have chosen as part of all that is to allow all that is to have this very, very unique experience. I'm excited, as you went through all of those, to, in further videos, just exploring each one of those a little at a time and our own experiences with that, with each one of these, and my own experiences with each one of these, and wanting to hear your experiences related to each one of these. So we did want to keep this particular one brief because there's lots of other things that we could go into right now. So I think really just to summarize that tonight, and as often as you remember, because everything is now, to simply vote yes for open contact, and meaning just put your energy out there that says, yes, I'm ready to embrace other beings, to interact with me in all of these ways, and to be aware of them, and embrace this new beings that are our family out there waiting to come and greet us. And so it is, yes, about frequency and matching that frequency and vibration. So we're really excited to share more and more with you. So once again, I'm Wendy. This is Dave.
And until next time, and we'll see you later tonight in our meditation.
In our meditations for
So-
Open Contact. So thank you for joining us on Open Contact TV.
And thank you for your co-creation and your sharing.
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 We love you.
Love you.